Fresh and floral Yan Cha, coming soon to your Nannuoshan cart. Hey everyone, this is Nannuoshan, I'm Sigi, and I'm here today with this. This is going to be one of the new Yan Cha that are going to be coming out on Nannuoshan soon. This in particular is the Dahong Pao Qi Dan, and we're going to be trying it today. This is another tea I'm going to write a product description for, so we need to test this properly, see what we can find, and how we can turn that into a nice product description that will let you know everything you need to know before buying this tea. All right, so first steeps going in. We are not wasting any time today. And my first impression of this tea was that it is, relatively speaking, on the sort of lighter and brighter end of Yan Cha. Not the kind of darker, deeper roasts that I often tend to go for, but that... Actually, this smells really nice. I mean, obviously there are plenty of really good lighter roast Yan Cha as well, and they are very much enjoyable. So getting to try something that's a bit out of my personal kind of comfort zone is going to be quite nice. And honestly, the first impression I'm getting just from the aroma of the wet leaf is really good. There's a lot going on here in terms of fragrance. Hang on, I'm going to pour in the second steep as well right away, just so I have more to talk about. There we go. So this immediately presents like quite a floral tea. There's a bit of honey going on as well. And there is a bunch of other stuff, like many of the kind of classic Yan Cha note you'd expect. A bit of spice. Obviously, there is some roastiness there, although it's not very prominent on this one. Some of that good old minerality. Yeah, it does. Kind of everything you wanted to. I think there's also a little bit of something that reminds me of like dried medicinal herbs or something in that vein. Let's see if we'll be able to find that as we actually drink the tea. Some of you might be wondering, why is this tea called Dahong Pao Qi Dan? Isn't that basically like two types of Yan Cha? But here's an explanation for that. So Dahong Pao is usually kind of I want to say almost a stand-in for just a generic name for Yan Cha among many or for many people in China that drink tea. Like if you went out to buy Yan Cha, a lot of people would just be like, hey, give me some Dahong Pao. And you can kind of imagine it like calling, let's say, a certain type of tissue like a Kleenex in English. These types of things. It's not really a brand name, but like a more specific term describing the broader overall general category. However, when it comes to Yan Cha that are actually also labeled as Dahong Pao, there are a few different types as well. The two main types are, on the one hand, Dahong Pao often tends to be a blend of different cultivars of Yan Cha, and they do sort of go in one direction, but they can really be a lot of different things. It's kind of the most generic type of Yan Cha in that way. The other type of Dahong Pao you can find is made from only one cultivar, and that's the one we have here today, Qi Dan. This type of Dahong Pao tends to be on the sort of lighter, more fragrant end. And we're going to see if that's what we end up finding here today. But if you're looking for Qi Dan Yan Cha, then you're often going to find it under the name Dahong Pao. Now, of course, a lot of producers have started mentioning that their Dahong Pao is Qi Dan rather than just some kind of blend. So I think it has also become easier to find them this way, but that is something I can't tell you with 100% certainty. Mm. This honestly feels quite full right from the start for a, relatively speaking, lighter Yancha. Mm. But the floral notes in this are really nice, and I especially like that it's almost like a whole layer of honey it has going on. Quite sweet, pleasant, and almost comforting in a way. This one isn't particularly woody either, but there is that thing I mentioned when I smelled the leaves, this kind of medicinal herb quality to it. That's also kind of staying in the background, but it's rounding everything out. And especially that combination of honey and this herbal note feels really satisfying. Of course, we do have some minerality, and this tea is a bit drying. There's a decent amount of astringency to it, but also not in an uncomfortable way at all. It actually fits quite well because, like, the honey fragrance and those herbs together provide quite a rich feeling in the mouth. And then that bit of dryness afterwards balances it out really nicely. This is a very quaffable tea, too. Like, I kind of just want to keep drinking and drinking. So it's very pleasant in that way. It's not overbearing in any sense. The fragrance on it is fairly strong. It has good intensity. It lasts quite long, but it never feels like perfumed or anything like that in any way at all. I think it's quite well balanced, and having a tea balanced while having something like that honey flavor here be one of the most prominent notes is also a bit rare. There's a lot of tea that do have honey fragrance, but a lot of the time I feel like it ends up being a bit more sort of one dimensional. Then you get a lot of honey and not too much else going on. But this, with its herbal note, with its otherwise floral notes, with its minerality as well, that comes out especially nicely in the aftertaste. I think this makes for a really nice tea. So I'd say if you're in the market for a lighter yancha, something that might be nice now during the warmer summer climate, maybe even moving towards fall, this is a great pick. Because I know a lot of people don't tend to drink too much yancha in summer, but I think this one works quite well during these sort of higher temperatures, longer days, and whatnot. Mm, yeah, really nice tea. I'm not sure if I have very much left to say on this first session. I hope I was able to give you a good impression of what this Dahong Pao Qi Dan is like. I think It's a really nice tea. I think if you need some lighter yan cha, then this is honestly a perfect option. Oh, one thing I could mention as well, kind of an interesting fact about Qi Dan in particular. It is a cultivar that tends to be harvested a fair bit later than most. So while this is still a spring harvest, because Qi Dan is harvested later, this one was harvested, I think, in May of 2024. And if I remember correctly, it's been roasted 3 times, but with like a very gentle and mild roast. But yeah, overall, what they've produced here is, I think, quite wonderful. I hope that it's something you will all be able to enjoy as much as I did today. And I think by the time this video comes out, this tea should be live on the website already. So if what I said about this tea here today looked or sounded enticing to you, then by all means, please give it a try and head down to the comments and let me know what you thought about this one. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully we're going to see each other again soon. Goodbye.